to remembering Sundays because it's normally remembering Saturdays, but we had an event to go to last night, so I was not able to be on, but I'm here today as promised. And I got a treat for y'all tonight too. So we're gonna be talking about tonight, are you who you say you are? Or are you just chatting? Or are you someone you were told to be? But that's what we're gonna talk about tonight. And I want to talk to y'all real quick about my book signing that's coming up. As you know, my book is available now on Amazon, Walmart. It's available on Ingram Spark. What if it was all a lie? And what happens when you remember the truth? It's basically about questioning the beliefs and things, teachings that we were taught that no longer serves us with authority and no longer letting fear stop us from these questions. Okay. And two, let me tell you about the sister circle that we are in. So if you're in Dallas and you're looking for a sister circle to join where you are with like-minded, aligned people, sisters, womenhood, where we elevate each other to be better in business, where we elevate each other to be better, our higher versions of ourselves, then this is definitely the space for you. I will drop that link in the description below. I might put it in the comment box too, so you can definitely check it out. Take a look at that. We're going to have a guest tonight, of course, one of my sisters. She's on her way back up here. I got a few questions I want to go over with you all. But seriously, are we who we say we are? Hi, Francine. Can you hear me clearly? Let me know. So this tonight's is definitely gonna be a night. A time is about to be had. Let me tell you this from now. As soon as she come back up here, we're gonna go over just a few things because we had a great event, I want to say eye awakener last night. Let me tell you, it was no joke. It was absolutely no joke. But are we who we say we are? Once you come into awakening, the things that try to pull you back in, awesome, thank you. The things that try to pull you back in, are you going to stand on what you believe, your truth, or are you going to let somebody coerce you or peer pressure you to be and do something that you're not? Because I can tell you this from now, even if you tried it, spirit going to bring you right back to reality either way. But you have to know to stand firm in your truth. Because we've been walking in other people's truth our entire lives, whether you like it or not. From the time we were born, we've been being programmed to a system that was never meant for us to follow in the first place. It was a system built to keep us from remembering who we are. Let me tell you that from now. It was definitely a system that was built to keep us from who we are. But when you've come into that awakening, when you've come into that awakening and you know who you are, hi everyone, and you know who you are, baby, I'm not letting nothing and nobody pull me back towards anything that they think I should be doing, anything that they say I should be doing. No, because I know for a fact who I am, and I'm gonna stand 10 toes and I'm gonna walk in my truth, regardless of who likes me or who don't like me. That's just it. And I'm very respectful. I'm a very loving person, so I'm gonna come correct. I'm not gonna come at you all sideways, but I'm gonna come correct. But just know that I'm not gonna be peer pressured to follow anyone. I'm not gonna be pushed to follow any system. I'm moving from that. Those days are over. Been there, done that. But I can tell you how easy it is for some people to easily be pulled back into it because they feel like maybe what they're feeling is not, it's not hard, it's not them. Because it's not who they've been their entire life. So now they trying to be pulled back into what they're not, if that makes sense. But look, listen, nobody can tell Shakole that she ain't who she is. Because I don't care. You will see me start making faces if you start talking some talk that I don't want to hear. You will, and I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'm not the person to go back and forth with you. I'm the person to get up and stay. But when you got your girls with you, when you got your sisterhood with you, there's an unspoken language that only y'all can hear. Give me 1 second. There's an unspoken language that only y'all can hear. And my sister is actually on her way in here right now. Sis, let me make sure your mic is on so we can holler at these people in that. Let them know, let our family know. Because this is my family right here. Let them know, look, listen. Are you who you say you are? No matter what. Regardless of who approaches you. You can bring that over here.
Girl, this went on a journey.
Oh yeah, them steps ain't no joke. Francine, Grayson, Amanda, are you who you say you are? Regardless of who somebody might have told you needed to be. And if it's anybody else on here, I apologize. This thing don't show me everybody, so you could type in the chat. Are you who you say you are? Or are you pretending to be a religion or a belief or something that somebody else told you had to follow, you had to be? Right, Donisha?
Right.
Let them know.
Give me a second.
Hey, everybody. You don't
I'm
know,
coming.
Francine? You don't know if you are who you say you are? You got to explain that to me. Because I want you to walk in authority. You are who you say you are. Or are you still following beliefs and teachings that you were taught way back in the day? And if that's cool, if it's working for you, great. But if it's not working for you, then are you who you say you are? I'm just saying. And I could understand the I don't know part. I could, because there was sometimes when I didn't even know who I was. So I could definitely understand that. Definitely understand that. But
I'm
tonight, we're
coming.
going to figure out tonight. Hey, not your average dream catcher. Hey, sis. Donisha coming over here. Y'all know I don't know who I. No, you don't know who the hell you am. You are. Look here, Francine. Stay on the line tonight, because before the night is done, I'm hoping you have some type of idea who you are and who you not trying to no longer be. Who you are no longer going to be. Because like I said, there was times when I looked in the mirror and I'm worse for 16 years. I'm just like, who are you? Like, who are you? Who are you? That's all right. Stay here, girl. Stay here. You're going to find out tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me introduce y'all to my sister. You're going to have to move. You're going to be on me tonight, sis.
Okay.
Downisha. Or Mama D.
Mama D.
Mama D.
That's how they gonna know me.
Mama D, okay? Girl, I got a question for you, but you can go ahead and get your notes. You can let them know who you are, where they can find you.
Whew. Y'all.
Yeah, you are a child of God.
Let's take a deep breath in. Deep breath in. Because let me tell you, I just been on a journey down these stairs and up, and I'm just trying to get back fucking focused, you know? So I'm laughing because this is shit I be doing, you know?
Right. Can y'all hear her? Can y'all hear her clearly?
Can you hear me?
It's all right. You can talk, because I'm sure they can.
Yeah, before we get started, I am Mommy DeWar, the Soul Oracle. And I believe in magic because I believe in me. Basically, you know, I do a lot of living, basically, what has been happening and experiencing life at a level of what I've been creating, which has been having me having to choose a higher feeling for myself to have a better experience, which brings results, which brings you really being yourself in a moment where you have to choose which version of you are you willing to be. Because all of us have an option at any time to choose to be the next level of ourselves. But do we really want to be that version? When the time arises for you to be that bitch, right? And so, I'm everything. I can't even. I can go down the line of a lot of things I do, but I'm everything that is and everything that was, right? And I operate in all of that frequency before I label myself to any type of how I want to put it, worldly label. I really am just what frequency is, and that is God, that is source, that is love. I'm all that. So having an experience with me is what I like to say that it's like soul work, you know, bringing you back home to your soul, to your power, to your magic, to your own ori, right? And also being divine at the same time. So I'm grateful to be here tonight. I don't even know what we're gonna talk about, but it's gonna be some lit shit, you know. I do believe in just kind of
letting it flow.
you know,
Yeah.
we just be vibing, chitter chatting,
Right.
you know. So, for welcoming on tonight. And I thank everyone for being here because you will receive a timeless message on tonight that has now been documented and recorded from the universe into this material realm. So now it's going to be the frequency is here forever. And so what we're doing tonight is really raising your vibrations. If you allow yourself to experience that, right? You can't go higher if you ain't allowing yourself to experience what you feeling. And however you feeling, it's the feeling you need to feel. Shit. To get to the next feeling.
Right. Right.
Why not feel,
Absolutely.
good? So yeah,
All right.
that's what
Oh, let's get started because I know we definitely talking about tonight. Are we who we say we are? Regardless of who confronts us, regardless of who we meet, regardless of what situation we may find ourselves in, are we who we say we are? Let me ask you this question. Have you ever noticed that the moment you start to change, you start to awaken and that different things seems to show up? Different people start to show up, new distractions, new people, new fears. Have you? And why do you think that happened?
First off, ask me the first question again because you asked me too many questions at one
Have you
damn
ever
time.
noticed that the moment you start changing, everything seems to show up at once? New teachings, new fear, new people, new distractions.
Yeah, I think that's an expectation. You know, as you start to evolve, your perception changes on something that you may have saw yesterday. You may see that differently today. So it's already expected to have all those other things show up. So therefore, you can really be what you say you are. If you come across it, you know how to move or feel. Do you want to feel the old way, or you want to feel good and trust yourself? And move into that. So yeah,
Okay.
that's
Okay. Cool. So why do you think that happened? Why do you think that happens? Why do you think new people show up, new fears show up, new teachings show up?
shoot. It's like playing a Mario game. On a Mario game, there's new levels.
Oh.
You gotta, you know. I think about when I was in the frequency of attracting the same man, right? I couldn't figure out like why the hell am I still attracting like the same spirited, the same spirit and the same man, right? Because I was in that loop. But once you start wanting to attract something higher, then you start attracting different people, different experiences, different different faces, but another experience in another person's body that you now have to come and face with, and what you've been telling yourself. Now you got to really move on it,
Right.
And I think those experiences for me have allowed me to just to master myself, master my feelings, master my thoughts, master what I want to feel. Because if I'm feeling good about what I'm experiencing, then I raise myself into another level of consciousness that will allow me to look at this differently and maybe say something the way I got to say it, whether it's in a what people would consider to be like when a woman really starts, for me, when I really start being in my shit, talking my shit, I'm gonna say what my tone may change, but it's still soft, so that helps you be it all the way through. You want to be experiencing people. I don't want to experience nobody that ain't where I'm at. I just don't.
Right.
I like where I'm at. I can do that. I can choose to have that option. That's my choice. I choose to be around people who continue to keep giving me the experience to continue to evolve. Like that's what I want to be around. Anything outside of that, I don't have to have it in my space. Or do I have to join with that to feel like I have to go and help that person get to where I'm at? I don't, because they can choose to be there too.
So I feel like these things show up, new fears, new teachings, new people, new distractions, to see if you are who you say you are, to see if the universe want to see, God want to see, source want to see if you believe and you faithful to your truth, not somebody else's truth, yours. No, regardless of what others may think of how you feel about something, you gonna stand 10 toes and walk in what you believe. No matter who try to coerce you, no peer pressure, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. And we've been tested recently, no?
Mm-hmm.
Because I would say
No.
last night was a test.
Last night was an experience.
That
Nothing
too.
to me.
We can take it as a
Yeah,
yeah.
it's an
I can mess
experience.
with that too.
Nothing at this level of myself is a test to me.
Right.
Why would it have to be?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's an experience that I allowed myself to have.
Mm-hmm.
We allowed others to have it. We allowed ourselves to
Mm-hmm.
receive, and by doing that, it was more more of a because before last night, I had already felt earlier that day. I don't know if I was telling Sharonda or I was telling somebody. I was like, man, girl, I said, man, my ancestors are like, I can hear everybody. My
Mm-hmm.
ancestors around like they are celebrating like I am. They passed me the torch. That's
Mm-hmm.
how it felt like, and I really didn't understand it. Right, I was thinking like, oh, because of how we was going to pray tomorrow night. I was like, maybe they was celebrating because of that. Like I had
Mm-hmm.
finally started allowing myself to let people see me in outside of me,
Right.
because
Right.
which is me still working on my own inner confidence. But I felt like that. I was like, oh man, they excited about me going to do this prayer, and like, man, that feels good because I'm just moving in a way of what I know I should be, and things are finding me in that level for me to have an experience, for me to have that experience to give myself the confidence, but also to prove to myself and to others and everything around me that I am who I say I am.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I say it, believe it. If period, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when last night transpired for me afterwards, and I sat with myself last night, and the feeling that I felt that morning came back, and then I understood
Mm-hmm.
that it was about when it's time for you to really rise in truth. And if you are saying you are the blueprint, you are the one that's coming to rise up the nations, then how are you going to move when it comes time for you to choose,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
And,
Right.
and if I'm going to choose me every time. I'm going
Right.
to choose how I feel. I'm going to choose how I think. I'm going to choose in a way to where I'm not trying to convince you or downgrade you in no type of way, but this is what I know I am and this is what I'm commanding, because that's me standing in my true authentic self, right?
Mm-hmm.
And me doing that on last night was my ceremony, you know, and I was already being celebrated before last night happened.
Hmm.
So it was like, yes, and it feels amazing to be able to walk into a space or be anywhere, because I can be anywhere doing the same thing. It doesn't matter whichever
Yeah.
level I got to be in. I can go in there and be myself, and that's why the people um, find me, because I am the people that I want to find me.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else that's not supposed to be around me, it don't even come close to me. So I don't even be having that to worry about. So yeah, last night that was it was an experience. We all had our own experience. We all had
Mm-hmm.
our own collective experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then the most beautiful thing about how it just puts the icing on the cake is when, my beautiful sister, she comes around and she
Right.
calls me and she says, hey, I gotta humble myself and say, girl, you are who you say you are. She said, and I
Mm-hmm.
thank you because you taught me some things. And that's how it's supposed to be if we are really doing some revolutionary work. Ye be transformed by the spirit and the mind, and then it is so.
Mm-hmm.
By having an encounter with somebody who says they are who they say they are.
Absolutely.
Period. And I got my
Absolutely.
motherfucking people with me.
Look, listen.
Because this time around, this is what we come here to do. We didn't come here to do nothing else but this. Like I said last night, I ain't come here to take care of the lame and the sick
Mm-hmm.
and the hungry and all, because I already know all those things don't be provided for those people. I
Mm-hmm.
come here for the people who are like me,
Mm-hmm.
because we need a space for us to be this
Right.
free,
Right.
be just period. And if you showing
Right.
up in that, it's already magic, and you being who you shit, because you the magic. So when you show up in a room full of the goddamn magic, what you think will happen in the room? We didn't have so much stuff happen just from saying. How long you been in the group? How long been? It's
Damn. Girl, I don't know. See, that's how long. Forever.
It feel like
Forever.
I
I
can't
feel
even
like
think.
I feel like I already known you for what, a year, two, three.
I don't even know. It just feels. It's just
Look, listen,
stuff is just,
it's just
and it's
flowing.
yeah, and it's
It's
so
just
good.
flowing.
Like I was so happy that you got to experience that last night because
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
when you dive into it and you really say you about to do it, shit, don't fuck around with a bitch like me because you gonna do it. I'm
Obviously.
gonna be.
Obviously.
What we doing
And
today?
like,
Like,
listen,
don't try to tell me nothing. What you don't threaten me with a good time. What? Come on here.
and I'm gonna just jump in it. But I love how we when we were there, we were talking to each other without even opening our mouths.
Mm-hmm.
I might have had a few facial expressions, but we were talking to each other without even opening our mouths.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's not something that just happens with any and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
But when it happens,
You know,
ooh,
girl.
that feeling. Let me tell
Yeah.
you, that feeling.
It's something that can't definitely be explained, only experienced, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you got to allow yourself, you know, to be what you say you are and know that it is safe and you're
Trust
going to
it.
learn, you're going to land right with the right people, right with the right circle, because I know people probably, it's the things that we tell you that be happening, you probably wouldn't believe it because you had to
Right.
have been there.
Mm-hmm.
You had to have been there. And so, you know, Chicago got me on here today. Now we just going live. We telling y'all in real time what's really happening because
Right.
it's happening in real time for real. And so I'll tell you, we look at just the way that we have been moving and the things that we have been experiencing. It has been so sacred. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah. It's different. It's definitely a different feeling, but I'm gonna say this to you, to everybody. Like, can you trust you? I'm talking about when you hear, let's just say you got the pastor talking to you. The pastor says one thing.
Mhm.
Your parents say one thing. You know, your friends telling you something else. And then, like, can you hear your own voice? That's what I want to know. Like, can you hear your own voice? And if you do, how many people actually step on that? Actually step on what they hear themselves say, or if do they even hear it? Because I know a lot of my they hear what the pastors say, they hear what they've been taught, they hear, you know, they hear what their teachers told them, but do you hear yourself?
I hear myself. I don't know about, you
Right.
know, I hear myself
And you trust yourself,
and
right?
I
So
trust myself. But
exactly.
if you are, um, for the people that have a better, um, a full perspective on, there's a difference between listening and hearing and doing.
Right.
That all that comes through the ear, through the mind, through the soul, through, you know, all of that. I think sometimes people listen, you know, but they don't hear. And then when they
Mm-hmm.
hear, they don't do. Meaning the doing is the work that you heard to move in it to do. You know, that's why
Mm-hmm.
you have to do the work. And when you can do that, then you can start listening, hearing, and then being, doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it has to make a full circle. If you're not listening, then you can't completely be aware of anything that you need to hear
Right.
within yourself. So that means removing distractions or getting amongst other people who are like-minded like you, where you can have these conversations in your truth that helps you get a better awareness of yourself. Because once you say it out, now you hearing what you say out. Now you either can choose to do what you said out, because words are spells, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do it or not. So
Mm-hmm.
I just think that that's the easiest way for me to describe how because I hear, I trust.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't always trust, right? But the experiences that I've had with having to say like I need my rent paid, and boy, I'm worrying
Mm-hmm.
all up until it's the time to get the rent paid, and
Mm-hmm.
then something just work out, and I was like, "Dang, why can I just trust that it was going to
Right.
do that anyway?"
Right.
You know, moving
Right.
through that feeling and that motion, because that feeling is there because you had that trust, but it was really a lack of trust, which then vibrated and gave you back nothing. So that's what made you kept continuing to feel like that. And sometimes things ease up for us and we worry. And we finally get to, like I said, something that happened, a breakthrough that happened when it's like, dang it, if I really just would have trusted from the beginning, I probably would have got a whole lot of things happening more faster,
right? And then less panicking. Because that's panic mode. That's survival mode. That's exactly what that is. And I have a lot of people that ask me that. Like, how do you overcome that feeling? Practice. I'm gonna tell you this from now. Once you awaken, there is no, like I say this all the time, there's no going back. But you're gonna always have that pressure because you hear, right? You hear in this realm. So it's all about how you practice it. Because I let me tell you, I tell this to my brothers and my sisters. How did you get there? Practice. Practice, and I'm gonna tell you this prayer.
Yeah.
I prayed, and I didn't pray in a begging way. I surrendered the panic.
Yeah.
I surrendered the worry. I remember the night I surrendered the worry, and I'm like, look, no more of this. I don't want this no more. Keep it. Give it to somebody else. I wouldn't even wish that on somebody else. Just I don't want it no more.
For me, I just started feeling good through every bad feeling and just giving more gratitude. That kept me going every time. I just felt good about what the situation was. Every time I kept saying, "Oh, I feel good about it. I feel good that it's going to happen. Everything's going to happen for me just like it's supposed to. I feel good. I don't have to worry." Like continuously feeling good. That was so powerful for me, and instantly that feeling good and gratitude really opened up another level of freedom for me because I was shedding old skin or just, shedding those old feelings and having new feelings, which now became my new way of life, of feeling that way when things happen. So now it's just like,
See,
I
but
don't even think
that's
about
easy for
anything.
you though, because a lot of people, I'm telling you, they come at me like, "How do you feel good in a situation where nothing's good happening for you right here, right now? How do you feel good about this? Are you faking it?" That's their favorite. Are you faking it? That I get approached. Oh, or how are you feeling great? Like my people's. How do you feel great? How do you feel good when you don't have the money to pay your rent? Is it fake? Because you can't fake the universe. We can. That's one thing we can't lie to ourselves. Exactly. Exactly. I'll tell you.
When you wanting to, I've been feeling good is a practice that you have to. It's a sacred ceremony with yourself. You can feel good in a bad situation. You have to intentionally set yourself up that when you are feeling good, what things make you feel good, and jot that down, whether it's music, whether it's a TV show, whether it's going somewhere, whether it's whatever you want to do, right? So when you have those moments when you don't feel good, you turn around and you activate yourself to what you put out there before you knew you was going to have that experience with yourself. Set yourself up to feel good. And if you can feel good for a minute, it's a minute. Like, so it's discipline. If you're not choosing to feel good, that's on that person. It's nobody's responsibility to make you feel good. Use the tools you got. And if you use the tools that you got, then you already got everything you need. So that's how I feel about that.
Hey, I love it. I love the response. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. That's just what it is.
Yeah, I ain't gonna keep y'all. Been on here for what, 29 minutes yapping? But I love it because this topic came to me last night, right after we went through, our little experience. Because experience is definitely better than saying it was a test
Yeah.
or a challenge or whatever the case may be. Because in our reality, it was exactly that, an experience.
Yeah. Yeah. The real win, I mean, if you if you still believe in, and it's all about levels, right? Everybody's at their own level, and for me, I just feel that once I started learning how to instantly shift my timelines to just feeling how I want to feel and no longer tied to that belief, it became, oh, I don't want nothing. What am I still testing for? What? I did the work.
Right.
What do I still need all these tests for? Nah.
Mm-hmm.
Give me experiences that keep me at at home with myself, give me these experiences that continue to allow me to be my true authentic self, surround me around love and other light beings.
Yeah, right. Yeah, surround me
That's what I
by
want to
love,
tell
light
myself
beings.
all the time. Like everybody that I've always been told as a kid that you never know if you entertain an angel. So every encounter that I have with people, that's what I'm going to be encountering. Angels, people that are light beings, people that are vibrating with love and light. You know, it's just as well as I can be a light for somebody else. There are people that I'm going to encounter that are that light for me too as well. That continues to keep you in your light, in your authentic self. Like so.
Yeah, when you're surrounded by that,
Mm-hmm.
you can't be nothing else. Because where you learning it from? Where you getting it from? If you, and you, all your everybody in your circle is that light and that love,
It's magnified.
it's
You know.
magnified.
So last night too was
You doing it right now.
doing what?
You're communicating with angels.
Oh yeah, you know,
That's
all the
us.
ones that are here. And last night too was beautiful because as my phone's ringing. As we surround ourselves with women and other women and these experiences, it's so good to just be in alignment. You know,
Absolutely.
it's so good to witness everybody in their gifts, everybody in who they are. It's good to witness yourself. It was just good to witness the whole experience. You know,
Yeah.
I left feeling empowered. I left feeling like what I say I am. I'm the blueprint.
Period.
I'm coming to. It's like I'm in a. It's it's like I have a school of a tribe of just God body women, God body people that I get to guide, God body children. It's a beautiful thing to be that connection and then that extension and then that feeling and then that it's like if we feel big,
Yeah.
we feel
Yeah, I felt big.
if you feel
I felt
and
amazing.
we're small in numbers.
Right.
So
I know these people.
like that. What was the story in the Bible when they went one of the kings went to war and they had lost so many men, but when they showed up to war, the people looked out there. They only really had 100, but it looked like they had
Thousands, right?
yeah.
Thousands.
I've always seen it in my I've always been able to see that. I've always saw myself and people, and it was so many people that was so far behind me of the other light people that I've seen that. So that's how I feel that's what be happening when we all start connecting.
Right.
Last night was beautiful because you bringing back the telepathic ability, right? And so
Yep.
we have when we think about when we talk about what our circle does and what our circle stands on, it stands on freedom and liberation. And yeah, it's magic because we all magic, and it's beautiful to have a space that is operating like that, as a sisterhood, because it's bringing back old, ancient things that have to be now present for the next generation, preparing for that for them. So it's been amazing because we get to do this for real. And they did say that the revolution will not be televised. So y'all don't be looking all on social media and thinking that everybody that's doing something so not saying that they're not. I'm just saying be mindful because everything that glitter ain't gold. Trust me, it ain't gold, and things to be happening right around you. And if you're not present enough to be aware of that, then the revolution is happening every day. Last night, what we did was revolution.
Yeah.
We didn't have to. I'm no longer carrying my ancestors. I am my ancestors, but I'm the one that is free, right? They didn't get to this level. I did. They chose. I chose, and we chose, and now we all can be here all at one time in one moment. Now I can walk in all of that and move in how I feel without having any limitations on anything besides I just be myself, and stand on that.
And stand
I
on it.
don't care
Because we
what
stood on
nobody.
it last night. You hear me?
Yeah, I don't care what you ain't. I have never been the one since a kid for you to easily
Period.
persuade me. Never, never could you tell me
Mm-mm.
something. I was always doing my own thing, all the time. Which that's all I knew that I come here to do is to be me my whole time, my whole entire life. So that is one of my strengths, that I'm not so quick to move or to speak on things. But when I do speak, I'm going to speak from a space of wisdom, because I know myself well enough to know that I'm that. I'm her. I'm God's source energy. I am as above, so below. I'm all things, all of everything I am, with all power within my spirit, my mind, my soul, and my hand.
We got some questions. Somebody asked you a question.
What?
Sisters, I need a spiritual experience. What should I do? Trust your knowing. Trust you. Trust
Have
you.
it, to do it. To stop what you're doing right now, stop and get off of here and go have the experience. Or is this your spiritual experience that you need? Right. Ask yourself what type of experience you want to give yourself, and go do it.
Exactly. Exactly.
You ain't got to wait on
Let me
nothing.
tell you, when you meet your tribe, because I had a question at the stoplight yesterday, and I just had to be like, is this for me? Are these sisters for me, baby? Not that I didn't know. I'm the type of person that show me. Now I know I can exercise this. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Now that I know I have a power within me that I can actually use and say something, and I don't have to wait for it to show up no more, and it just show up. 2 songs came on that day. Right after that, Cargo, Not Sell Out My Friend. Then I don't remember the other one, but that one was right there enough because I put that one down in it. Why that song? Right after I asked the question, I was like, okay, I'm gonna let that ride. The experience that night, that was enough for me. Just being able to talk to you both and not open my mouth, and we be on the same page. If you wasn't for me, I'd have walked out of there already, because you would have been in whatever we was being coerced to. So I knew in that moment my answer was, it was there. I had the answer I needed.
Yeah.
Not that I needed it, but you know what I'm saying. It was the gravy on the whatever the hell they eat out there.
Icing on the cake.
Yeah,
gravy on the rice.
Look, I'm like, whatever the hell. Gravy on the meatloaf, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if y'all got any questions, y'all can ask. I just want to know. Look, there is a question, but you know what? I might not ask this one. Only because I don't want it to be. I don't want it to fly over anybody's heads. But
whatever you want to do.
If the identity that you built, everything that you built, disappeared tomorrow, who would you be? Who would you be? Would you be something that someone told you to be? Because I know for a while I was. I can't sit up here and lie. For a while, I was what the pastor told me I needed to be. What I thought the Bible was telling me I needed to be. Until I came into this awakening. And I refused, and I started reclaiming my power with certain people, places, and things. And ain't nothing nobody said could deter me from that. And now we got numbers. Power. Come on. Man, I love it here.
Yeah.
I love it here.
Yeah. I never, I was always taught not to put on a coat that don't belong to you. So I never identified to nothing other than myself. So I fought a lot trying to be that. And then I would just fit in. I could fit in with everybody else because, I can shape shift. I can shape shift and fit in with everybody else. But going back to remembering myself, before I had the identity, I just remember, the feeling of just being free, and so I no longer want to be tied to identity.
Right.
You know, because before I was anything, I came here as a bulb of energy, just
Spiritual being.
Yeah, just a spiritual being coming here to enjoy this life that I'm living. And so that type of stuff kind of keeps us, you know, having to people please. If I'm
Yup.
tired to this, and I'm like, I don't want to do that no more. I've done
Mm.
that. I don't want to do that. Why I gotta be doing this like that? Why I gotta wear this like this? Why I can't
Right.
just
Be me.
be this version that I want to be? And once you really start identifying with that, because that's the identity, identifying with who you really want to be. That is and then when you want to be that, you start vibrating at that. When you want to be love, you start vibrating as love. When you want to be peace,
Yep.
you start vibrating as that. When it's what you going back to being what you know to be, and that's when you really find yourself safe at home with yourself, because you going through all these different experiences to get to that feeling and that remembrance and that flow, because that's what really ultimately feels good. We having that experience all the time in that same manner. What last night was the experience with that. What made us be like, man, it feels good to be me. It feels good to be here. It feels good to be that these are my sisters. It just feels good. Like, man, like I've been waiting for this. I used to imagine this and used to dream this, and I used to know that it was coming. Like, man, I know there are people out there like me. How can I find those people? Then I had to realize, what people am I looking for? What people do I want to attract to me? Who are my people? Because I had to figure that out within myself. Who
Who
was,
am I?
yeah.
Who am I? In order for you to find out any of your friends, who they supposed to be, your circle, you got to find out who you are 1st, and then collectively we tear the systems down. Because that's what I'm telling you now. That's my aim. It's been my aim for some time now. I want the systems, the matrix, all of that shit gone. We ain't got to get into all of that, but that's what the sisterhood is for. That collective power.
Yeah.
But you gotta get it individually first, though.
First,
Because if you don't get it individually, you're gonna be doing what you do, following what somebody else.
Yep.
You ain't standing on who you think you are.
And I love that, because last night when I walked out of there, I just loved everything about it. I was just in gratitude, because it was like, man, for me, you know, I've been doing this. I've been this. You know what I'm saying? And so even when you was like, we going live tonight, I was like, girl, I might need to start talking shit. That
You
people
should.
see I talk
I
my
keep
shit,
telling
right?
you, talking.
And I said, because, this is just who I am every day. And so it'd be like,
Yes.
I am this every day. So it is such a beautiful thing that should be shared, right? Because I
Absolutely.
really am truly this every day. An experience for me is an experience for me every day. It's an experience with God, because I'm God and you are God too. So the experience we have together, it's magnetized. And so last night just really confirmed for me that, I just like, girl,
No going back.
you her, you know,
Period.
you are who you say you are, and so softly and gracefully and
Right.
respectfully, and all those things that maybe I didn't have, I let those powers go when it was all at odds with each other. All that has came back as one within myself, and I'm able to walk in that with so much authority, so much like power. You already know you're gonna have to. It's not like a. It is. It's a humbling posture, and honoring when you come into a presence of somebody as such as myself.
Okay.
Period.
Let them know.
So and I love that, because I didn't have to say anything negative.
Nope.
I didn't have to tear nobody down. I didn't have to do nothing but just be the version of myself that I know that I am at all times. And that for me is it's so rewarding for my soul, because what is attached to that is infinite abundance, right? That everything attached to me and myself will receive. And so it is an honor to be amongst other people who are moving in the same power for real.
And
It's been a long time since I don't know what other circles are doing, but I know that the stuff that we do and what we talk about is what we talk about.
Right, it's what we talk about on a daily basis. But I'm gonna say something about last night, and I've been noticing about this about me for a while now. I don't like arguments. I don't do the back and forth thing. That's just it's never been my thing. When I was younger, okay, yeah, I would have popped off. Period. But I've been calm. Probably because I was trained to be calm because I don't like the back and forth. I never did. Last night definitely fed off of your energy because me, I'm the type of person that'll get up and walk. I'm gonna tell you this from now. I'm the type of person to get up and walk, but because I felt the energy, I knew we was on the same page. I'm like, all right. Plus, I have respect for you too, so I just gotta keep it real. Just gotta keep it real.
I live
So
and respect you too, girl.
yeah, so I just was like, all right, you know what? Let me see where this gonna go.
Good.
And it went right where it was supposed to go. And no, because I'm not a disrespectful person. So that's not good. You have to literally shove my ass. And even if you push me, I might not. I might just let you have it because I'm the type, and I know you not. You can slap one cheek, slap the other. I'm a step. Just because I'm not gonna give you my energy. Just because I'm not gonna lower my frequency for you. But I can guarantee you, if you touch like one of my people's or worse, touch my kids, RIP. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I ain't even gonna lie to you. But I just I liked how I held my composure last night. And that's thanks to you all. Because, like I said, I probably would have sat in the car for the rest.
Yeah.
And watched the Knicks. My boys won.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go Knicks.
Right.
Yeah, that was and when you said that to me last night, it's so beautiful because we all was there experiencing something similar and something different for ourselves, something that we know that we are truly capable of what we are about to receive. Last night showed that. You know what I'm saying? Because
absolutely. Okay.
I'm just saying, I'll be all
give it to me.
And so for me, if I say that I am this, then the reward is going to be so much more liberating and expanding in such a way that it's going to blow your mind. We've been having our mind blown for the past couple of weeks, months. Mine has
months.
been
I mean, I've been in a place like
I've been
this, and now that I know that I carry a certain power, I'm not gonna take advantage of it. Lies.
Yeah, that's what I say.
But I'm gonna certainly use it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna certainly use it, and I like that I have the power in the pen and the paper. But I like the fact that I could use my words.
Yeah.
And see shit show up.
Yeah.
And I ain't gotta wait for it. Yeah, all right now, Francine. All right now.
And that's what I was telling you a couple of days ago when I was like, you was like, I don't want that girl to come out, whichever version of yourself. I was like, what? Right. Who? You be on me. You see how I move. I don't play no games. God don't play about me, and I'm God, and I don't play about myself. So therefore, I've learned how to take. Once you start healing, the way that you would say things to people in a way when you were in a lower frequency, it took away your power. But when you regain and you heal yourself and you understand your power and your authority, you can speak in such a manner to where everybody in the room going to take heed to what you're saying and their spirits will be open to receive what you've given them in truth, and their hearts to be so open to receive it that however you deliver it, they receiving it, I said what I said last night in such the most purest, honest, loving way because I know my authority and I had that much authority to tell a motherfucker something in my lower level and that shit happened. You goddamn it, I better be over here on this frequency speaking all this high level shit and speaking it as to be so on this level if I've done it at that frequency. But that was the duality. I needed that dark to come back to my light with that and being able to be that and for you to have to witness that because I'll tell you that. And you have to witness the same thing I said that I am. I can only tell you that because I have already been that. So you will have the opportunity to see me be that in real time. And a lot of times that part of us sometimes isn't shown in every space because we have to move with that authority accordingly. And that's where the order and the rules come in because the only order and rules that you abide by is the one within yourself.
Exactly.
That's the only one I'm following.
Right.
I don't got to be following nobody else's nothing. Now you can teach me something, I can learn something, but it is for me to get my own understanding and awareness and do it in the way that I feel I need to do it. But thank you for guiding me on that step because I didn't have that awareness at first, but now I do. Now I go in credit to making my own, to make what I do. It says study to show yourself approved, right? That means that whatever you are studying, you got to prove to yourself that what you are studying is true.
Absolutely.
So everything that you were embodying, you got to prove to yourself that what you were embodying is true.
And walk on it.
And walk on that 10 toes
And
down,
walk
and
in it.
you ain't got to even wave on that.
Right.
I ain't never been I'm a goat.
Okay.
My sign is a goat. I'm a Capricorn, and let me tell you one thing about Capricorn. The Capricorn is the only animal in the world that can hang on a little bitty piece of over a cliff and not even be scared. The Capricorn going down in the middle of a valley, stay there for days and months and rain and storming, and still come back up to the top. It's we always staying 10 toes down. It ain't no other. So I've had that energy my whole life, but learning how to to use it in the way that worked at my higher self. That's what I had to learn how to master.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah.
All right, y'all. Are you who you say you are? Or are you pretending to be who you're not to please somebody else? Because if you are, it's time to let that go. Because it don't serve you. It ain't doing nothing for you. And it certainly ain't doing, little do you know, it ain't doing nothing for the person that you're doing it for either. It's actually keeping that person down too.
Yeah.
Keeping them blinded. All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So step out on your truth and stop walking in somebody else's truth. If them old beliefs don't work no more, so what? Let them go. It's okay. I promise you. You're not gonna die. And even if you do, it's not the death you think it is. But we're not gonna get into that. We're not getting into that.
Don't give the people too much.
Yeah,
because I know I've given y'all a lot because I spoke from a very soft space today.
So
because I live a high life.
So tell them about the sisterhood, and I'm gonna put the link in the description how they can find us. But tell them why they should join this sister circle if they ready. If they ready.
Girl, the circle is exactly what it sounds like, which is a circle. It's complete.
It's complete.
So, and when I thought about building a sacred sister circle, I always reflect and think about my experience as being a safe sister because my sister is 2 years younger than me, and we've been sisters and safe with each other our whole life. I watched my mother and her sisters; they were safe with each other. I watched my grandmother and her sister. So I come from a bloodline of sacred women that loved their sisters. So building this sisterhood, I knew that I wanted to attract women who were, were ready to be free to be themselves, without anybody judging, without anybody making them feel small, without coming in feeling like you're not seen or heard or not loved or not appreciated. I wanted women who were ready to talk that real soul level, that soul level work, because I knew that by doing that, it would teach each of us more about ourselves, which allowed us to grow and flourish. So over here in the sisterhood, we do all type of stuff. We have real conversations. Right now, we in a book club, our Rising Daily Bread. We even had a retreat. A lot of times we get together to celebrate each other. We always celebrate each other every single day. Doing service work, being in, being where we're supposed to be when we're supposed to be there. And it has been a beautiful experience with the women that have been in this space, because we all are committed to one thing, ourselves. That's why we keep showing up, right? Keep loving on each other, keep being in tune with one another. This space is just a safe, sacred space for women who have done the healing work, the women who I want to go to the next level within themselves, which it doesn't, I can't even give it a label. I can't even give it a label of what you're going to experience within yourself that you deserve to have. If this is you and it's calling you in, the description, the link will be left below, I'm quite sure, on Chico's page. Y'all click the link and join.
And if you got a special invitation, you greatness.
Yeah, because guess what? I don't invite nobody. I really don't even promote the group, you know.
Sharonda talking.
Like talking about.
I do. I promote it.
I mean, I said like
ready though.
I don't promote it to as far as like I'm promoting it to
I get what you're saying.
To attract people.
Right.
I'm posting because it's the vibration that I'm putting out there into the atmosphere of what we are doing. And those people that hear that call and feel that vibration, then you're going to find yourself right where you're supposed to be. And if it's supposed to be with us, it'll be with us. If not, may you find your safe, sacred space because this is the time to do so.
Absolutely.
The power is readily available for anybody who wants to have it. Extra cold.
I love it here. Sharonda, what you said, there was a choice to sign up or not last night. We respectfully and gracefully bowed out and did. See you later.
Yeah.
We still love you.
Uh-huh.
It just wasn't for us.
Yeah.
It wasn't for us. And at least we were strong enough and bold enough and had enough authority to walk in our truth to know that didn't serve us.
Well, it's also, too, a thing that if you say you are the light, right? You say you are the embodiment of source of all things. When we are in a space to show up as ourselves, anything that lacks it is going to have to show up too, right?
That's true.
That's why we having an experience with whoever we have an experience with. They're going to have to show up too in that moment, whether it be whatever they are. And it doesn't become, and what I love about it is that these are the things that we are supposed to be doing as sisters. We're not supposed to be arguing back and forth about things. We're supposed to allow ourselves to show up in real form. So therefore, we can recognize and know what needs to be helped within you. How can we, if you faking, how can we, if you abiding by this rule and that rule and that belief and that belief? No, what are you saying and what you're feeling right now? This is safe to say that here in this space so we all can show up and we all can be that in real form. And so therefore, that energy alone, the energy that's most powerful is going to win. And that's what wraps that person in a new love and a new way and a new feeling in that space. It shows them something. Yeah. It's the experience. You got to have the experience.
Right.
So last night was on such a so high level, it was beyond what I could even explain. But even with the prayers that we did in the little moment that we did, we didn't even have to do it as long as we did it because it was already activated with how we moved and shifted their vibration throughout the whole atmosphere with that. Those are things when stuff like that collides and it's broken, you know what that does?
That energy going somewhere.
Yeah.
If you join late, we're talking about, are you who you say you are? When confronted with anything, anyone, are you gonna walk in your truth? Regardless of what the pastor may tell you, the teacher may tell you, whatever new friends, whatever distractions, are you gonna be who you say you are?
And then we was talking about our experience we had last night that proved to us that we were who we say we were. That's what we're talking about. Every experience you have should always bring you back to home of remembering of that's who you are. This is who I am. And it should continuously make you feel good to know that because and then surround yourself around people who know that about themselves and believe that about you. Because there ain't nothing that you can tell me about your code. Anybody in my circle, you can't tell me anything about them. And you can't tell, you for damn sure can't tell them anything about me. Right. Tell you something. Because my people don't play.
No, we ain't got time
about
for
me.
That. We gonna step.
Yeah. So
very strong-minded. I love to hear that. Very strong-minded. I would challenge a little bit, but you know what? This ain't the place or time for that. This ain't the place or time for that to be asking. So what do you believe in? Is what you believe in right now something you were taught to believe in, or is it something that you've been believing and it feels right to you?
I believe in me.
Right. I believe in me
Period.
too. I'm the source. We are source.
That's what I believe in. Me.
Right. I believe in me too.
You know, that's the main priority. Believing in myself. If I can believe in
Absolutely.
myself, I can believe in others. So I can't believe in others before myself. So I can't believe in any other things before me. I
That's
believe in
right.
myself, and then all those other things that believe in me gonna find me, and I believe in it, and they believe in me, and I, boom, 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 like that. That's just my answer to that.
You learn a person for yourself, not for the things told to you about a person. You learn a person by the way you attract them too.
You
Because
learn
you attract who you are.
you learn a person by the spirit. What the spirit feel like.
Exactly. You can read that spirit.
Yeah. And if you're not in tune with that spirit, then you got to do a self check on your own spirit and ask yourself why you're not in alignment with being able to recognize the spirit. Because you should try the spirit by the spirit, and then by doing that, then that there surpasses everything about knowing a person. Shit, what your spirit say to me. I don't care about what your person say. Your person is what you did probably like a wolf in sheep clothing. Nah,
Right.
I ain't with it.
Right. I'm trying to think if I ever. Oh shit. I definitely did enough times. You know, followed somebody or something where I thought they knew. I thought they was the right person for me. They weren't.
Yeah. Sure, me too, girl. So many times when I look back and think about it, I'm like, what was in me that needed
Yeah,
to
I guess
have
these
that?
two a straight person.
There
Yeah.
was something in them that I needed that I lacked. And because when I realized that what I lacked and they couldn't give it to me, it made me give it to myself, and then I no longer needed them.
Right.
Right? So everything I attracted to me was everything I was, everything my spirit was, and what my spirit called in. And I was teaching myself my own lesson through somebody else.
And they be doorways.
Yeah. So
They be doorways
I don't
sometimes.
even be looking at everything that in my life has, man, tremendously been a blessing to me. I wrote something today.
Good, let me hear it.
Because I was thinking, just
But
hit
I
my mind.
always told you about people before you even.
I was
Yeah.
thinking,
Because I stayed blind a lot for a long time. What you was talking about?
um, one thing I wanted to share with people was I wrote it earlier. I said, stop disrespecting your progress and embrace it. Enjoy it and feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Last night was not an experience to be feeling like I had to disrespect that moment or
Right.
feel bad about myself for calling that moment in. That's not the energy,
No.
that's not the thought you want to have. It's the progress that you got to embrace and feel it and experience it and understand it, because you asking God for harvest and he giving you seeds. And that's a seed. When I'm asking,
Right.
and the harvest comes out that seed, which I said earlier, that comes out of that obedience within myself to obey to myself, to be my true self, that planted a seed, that I've been asking for a harvest. That comes after that, because you cannot undo or unsee or unbe what you become.
Absolutely.
I'm here, right? And then when you be here, it's like you cannot go back from being here.
Right.
So yeah.
Oh, I definitely always see the good in people.
That's a
That's the
gift.
thing. I always see the good in people. Regardless of what they may, I know people, we here unlearning shit, right? We're here unlearning all these teachings that we were taught and all these beliefs that we were taught. So I see them for that. I see them at their level of consciousness. I didn't always, yes, because I just always figured that when I was naive and blind and still sleepwalking, I seen the good in everybody, regardless of how even if they talk to me wrong, I'm telling you, I just didn't, when I told you one of my little Jesus moves, smack one cheek to turn the next. I already know y'all not gonna do that. And I already know y'all not gonna allow, I wouldn't do it no more. I wouldn't do it no more, but yeah, definitely.
You know,
She said it's a gift and a curse.
it's a it's not a
Yeah,
it's not a
I wouldn't say
curse.
so much a
It's a
curse.
beautiful gift,
It's a
because once you are fully aware and you see what you see, you know what you know, and when you see people for who they you know who they are, as far as like when you see the light in them, we are supposed to see that. I've always saw
yeah.
that. it's about even when we see that, that person has to see that for themselves for that to even happen. But then you have to allow yourself to experience the spirit that that person is showing you and know that that's where that person is at. So therefore, you know that, hey, this is really who this person is, regardless of what I see. Because I have the ability and the gift to see, I also have the ability to understand that
Yep.
they are here, you know, and it's not my job or my assignment to make sure that they see what I saw. They got to see that for themselves. And if they choose to see that for themselves, then guess what? Then I choose to see that for them too. And then it happens for them in their life, you know. But if I love to see good things for people. I've always saw good. I love that. I love people to see good things for me, you know. And then if you don't see something that I'm not aligned with in what you see with me, then call me out on that. Say, hey sis, you know, I see this in you. Like last night with Sharonda, you know. Even though she said what she said about herself, oh no, bitch, this is what I see.
Right. Right.
This is what I see in you, how great you are, how amazing you are. And you a soul oracle herbalist, baby. You a practitioner, or you a herbalist practitioner, baby. What you you out here healing people, you out here using your voice, you out here moving in your power, you know. That's what we are supposed to be. You know, and when you're the person that's on the other end that can receive that, when you can see people for who they are, even when you see them high and see them where they at, when they not being high, what you see them, you can help get them there and say, hey sis, nah, here, come on up the ladder. That's real. That's real love, you know. And so we do that for each other. And I love that happened all the way around, and we always full circle and be like, you know, it's like it's understood. Like we said last night, what you feel don't have to be explained. What's understood don't have to be explained.
What's understood don't even have to be spoken.
Yeah, it don't have to be spoken.
It wasn't even spoken last night. Okay, not physically, not verbally.
Yeah,
but it was definitely there. So good comes with bad. Well, in order to know good, you got to experience bad. In order to know up, you got to know down. You have to experience that.
And I don't use
I
the
don't
word
use
bad.
those words either.
I don't use good
But
or
I
bad.
understand where you're
I understand where
coming
you're
from.
coming from. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So y'all join the sisterhood.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop the link in the. If you're ready, join the sisterhood. I'm gonna drop the link in the description box below. I do got a book signing coming up.
Yep.
July 11th in Dallas. I'll drop that in the description box below too.
Yeah.
And my book is out. What if
Go
it was
get
all
it.
a lie? What happens when you remember the truth?
Go get it. Go get it.
So, what words do we use? I guess in regards to good and bad.
High and low frequency, you know.
Yeah, there's just I like to say there's just a level of consciousness. You know, I can't see because there's nothing wrong with it. You know, it's just where you are. And I love to say this all the time. We all on different journeys. So I can't expect you to see what I'm seeing, feel what I'm feeling, when that's not the journey you're on.
Yeah. I just think, you know, you should find words that are safe to you, that make you feel good, because that's what activates your own vibration.
Yeah, use the
You
words
know?
that work for you.
Yeah. Use the words, you know, I can say, ha ha, ha ha, oh, hee hee. And you're like, why you say those words? Because they're the words I want to say. I can say the words.
Yes.
If that makes me feel good, that makes me come out of the realm of looking at things being evil and good, or evil and good or bad or whatever. I don't want to attach myself to that energy because it has so many other energies that don't make me feel good. I don't want to be attached to that. I create my own frequency with my own words, and it may be a word that's similar to your word. But if you say a word, I like, girl, I like that word. Because that word feels good. I'm going to use it. Some people say ashe. They say peace. They say whatever.
I'll say, and it is so.
And so it's whatever makes you feel good. That's at the end of the day, do what makes you feel good. Period. Do what makes you feel good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm not gonna keep y'all any longer, but thank you for being here.
Thank y'all. Hey,
I appreciate y'all. Love y'all.
And go follow me on social media, all social media sites. Mommy D Water Goddess at Instagram, at TikTok, and
I'll drop it in the description box. Okay. Yeah, because you know it's gonna be. I'm gonna drop it in the description box. Y'all go and follow her. And thank y'all for being here. They have the
Peace.
same meaning. Got it. Love y'all later.
Toodles.